Hello everyone, in this video I'm going to show you how to complete the Juvenile Justice Webquest activity. So this activity takes the form of 3 parts. So part 1 is setting the scene, in which you'll watch a short video and answer questions. Part 2 is the actual Webquest activity. And part 3, at the very bottom, you're going to answer reflection questions. So taking a look at part 1, setting the scene, you're going to click here to watch a very brief video that talks about what states are currently doing in terms of juvenile justice. How are they addressing it? What are some of the issues that they're facing within these states? How do they view juvenile justice? What are they doing to prevent juveniles being tried as adults within each state? So you're going to watch this very short video and answer the response questions here and complete sentences. For part 2, you're going to complete a Webquest. And if you haven't done a Webquest before, a Webquest is almost like a scavenger hunt, but instead of like going out and searching, you're doing it on web pages. But rather than having you navigate the site yourself, I've linked every page indicated with these red arrows here. So for each part, with the questions directly underneath what's in the red arrows, that's the page you're going to respond to. And then same here, adult time for adult crimes. You're going to do this table. Let me get rid of that. I don't know why that's there, etc. So looking at this first part, there's just going over basic juvenile statistics. And when you click on each page for answering the questions, all of the answers are available on that specific page. So you don't have to go and click outside of it. It's all here, and I already linked it for you. So you just click on that link, and the answer will be on that page. So for this part, you'll be clicking on this link. And for this table, you're going to be looking at 4 judges. So when you click on this link here, you'll see that there's 4 judges here, right? You see their little faces, and they talk about where they fall on the argument of trying juveniles as adults. And as you're reading through this, I want you to complete this table. So for each of the following judges, right, last names at the top, provide one reason why the judge believes juveniles should be tried as adults, right? Reason in favor. And then one reason why they're against trying juveniles as adults. Not every judge is going to show both sides of the argument, and that's fine. So let's say if Cordell was against it because he thinks teens can't, think rationally. Let's say that was his argument. And let's say he didn't address why he wasn't in favor of it because he's clearly against it. All you're going to do is write NA. And what that shows is non-applicable. So go through and see. Some of them express like, oh, well, I'm a favor in this sense, but not in this sense. Some of them stick to one side. That's fine. Don't get thrown off if you can't find them explaining both sides. As it says in the directions, just write NA. And that's going to be in that link here. After that, what works? Again, another page that you'll visit. Click here. All of the answers, again, are on this page. You're going to read through this web page, and you're going to answer these brief questions. What do juvenile systems do well? Be specific and list 3 things it does well based on the different opinions presented. You can quote from the page, or you can summarize it in your own words. Number 7, what solutions do Judge Jones and Judge Cordell propose to improve the juvenile justice system? And you'll see here on the page, each judge, here's Judge Jones, right here, Judge Jones, and then Judge Cordell. So they do have the names right next to their pictures. So make sure you're paying attention to that as you're reading through and getting their opinions and their feelings on that. And then you're going to do, is the system racially biased? Again, click on the link, which will take you here. You're going to read through this and fill out the table accordingly. Each of the following judges provides reasons why they believe the judicial system is racially biased. In 2 to 3 sentences, summarize each judge's argument. How do they feel about it? They all have to say something about the racism within the judicial system. So read through this and just give me a brief summary, 2 to 3 sentences about what each judge says. And remember, if you get lost, each judge's name is right next to their picture. And you're going to fill this here out according to their last names. And then the last page you're going to visit is reasons for treating juveniles differently. Again, all of your answers are on this page. And if you look here, another table, and you're going to summarize each judge's reasons, for trying a 14-year-old offender differently than a 24-year-old offender in 2 to 3 sentences. So basically, each of these judges answers that question right here. You'll see it's even highlighted here on the page, right? So they're answering it directly, and you're going to go through, and in 2 to 3 sentences, why does each judge feel, or in what instances does each judge feel that a juvenile should be tried as an adult? I'm just going to type that in here. And lastly, part 3, you're going to reflect. So now that you've watched that beginning video and you've completed the WebQuest, I want you to think about how the juvenile system is working and if you believe it's working the way it's supposed to. If we are so aware of this issue, right, of trying juveniles as adults, of that recidivism, right, we talked about, committing a crime, going to prison, getting released, and then that revolving door, going back to prison, getting released, going back to prison, getting released. If we're so aware of that issue, why is it still around? Why haven't we tackled it or talked about it? Do we as a society owe these children, these child criminals, to try them as children? Or do you feel it's still justifiable to try some children as adults depending on the crime, right? You can think of theft versus murder versus arson, what have you. So in 4 to 5 sentences, I want to know your opinions on those issues. And when you're done typing that up, you're going to go ahead and click submit. And email me if you have any questions. Thanks.